a dessert.
All right. Here we are.
That's the
Burger. Oh. I'm so happy right now. Welcome to Breaking Bread with Dread. This is the first video for this year, so my apologies it's taken so long, but we're gonna have to figure out a wobbler. Okay, so really appreciate you guys coming out and sticking with me. I've got the nerdy weds here with me. I said it right this time, I don't want to hear it. So we are at, what's this called again? Hot Pot?
This is Mr. Hot Pot.
Mr. Hot Pot. Okay, so my guest here is William and Kina. And you guys specialize in board games.
Specialize in board games,
but
and
you
other
do
nerdy pursuits.
Right, you do more than that. So let's start with the first things first. How did you get into being like a nerd? You know,
I was born like this.
Okay.
No, I've just been always into nerdy things like video games,
RPGs.
fantasy, RPGs, movies. As a teenager, I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. Watched Star Wars my entire life. Just been really into that geek culture. Also, computers and technology has been a big thing with me growing up.
Okay. And even though I should have done ladies first, I went with him. Not calling you a lady. But, so Kina, how did you, did you secretly hide it, or were you out there also just figuring it out as we grew up?
We just figuring it out as we grew up. I'm an introvert and have always been that way. And I spent a lot of time on my own, just reading, watching movies, things like that. Thank you.
Making video. Hi.
Thank
Yes.
you.
There you go. Thank you.
Now you can get up and we have 3 different sections, okay?
Okay.
So you can grab the meat and then start cooking.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
There you go. Enjoy.
Thank you.
So you were saying?
I was saying that I'm an introvert, always been an introvert, and I spend a lot of time alone just reading, watching movies, things like that. And when we got together, there was a point in time that he went to Alaska, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that was something he always wanted to do. So it inspired me to think of something that I've always wanted to do and kind of pursue that. And strangely enough, like I said, being into movies, I really like zombie movies. So I said, you know what? I want to do a zombie walk. So I researched it and saw that in Orlando, they had a zombie walk around October. And it was attached to a convention. So that's when I first learned about conventions, and that not only do they have Comic-Cons and pop culture, but they have for any interest that you're in, to include horror. So that started our love for conventions and going to conventions. So it opened a whole new, I'm going to sound like Disney. It opened a whole new world for us.
So let's backtrack a little bit. Before you two, okay, well, first of all, I know you guys don't like hearing it, and most don't, but thank you for your service, for both of you, because you both are veterans. So, but how did you two meet? And when you met, did you let each other know you were nerds? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think there was any way for me to hide how nerdy I was.
Right.
I was a nerd. I still am a nerd. We met because we were both in the same platoon in the Army.
Okay.
So I got there 3 weeks before she did. She showed up and we became friends, hung out together a lot. Eventually, I got her to start dating me. And then we got married, and it's been 25 years later. Here we are.
So he suckered you twice.
Anyone get veggie prawns?
Veggie?
Oh, veggies.
On the corner or right here?
Right here.
Yeah, right here.
Thank you.
Mushroom? On the middle or right here? Right here. Give you that small thing. Satay, mild spicy.
You want
Thank
there?
you. Right here.
You want there?
So it's not near the camera.
So last person right here, right?
We only have 3.
There's only 3 of us.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, just only two, yeah. Order, make a barbecue meat here. And got heat up all over here.
I'll move it one by one. I just don't want to open.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna see.
So you were asking about, did we let each other know we were
Yeah,
nerds? I think our interests kind of showed that what
Just
we were
eventually,
into.
yeah.
Because we would hang out, and one of the things we liked to do, we would go to a bookstore that sold RPGs, and you could play. So he would be playing the RPGs, and I would spend all of my time grabbing books and just reading while he was playing.
Okay.
And that's how we hung out.
All right, so you're in Alaska. You're saying, hey, I want to do this zombie thing. So how did the YouTube part of it with the board games pop in? Or was it like board games first and then YouTube?
Podcast came first.
Podcast came first. Podcast was first. We had the Convicts Convention podcast, where we were almost exclusively just talking about going to conventions and other aspects of convention life, you know?
Okay.
Then we got into board games because of some friends. Usually a friend of ours who we had met through conventions wanted us to go to a particular game convention and kind of got us introduced to board games and stuff.
Okay.
Our collection started with board games with the closing of Toys R Us. Toys R Us had a big sale going out of business. We went in and bought a bunch of board games. And it really showed us the diversity of board games. And then making more and more friends through board games and all that just really broadened the whole world of board games. The podcast really didn't go anywhere. I didn't commit to it. Then we started up YouTube. We had a great run in the very beginning, but then I had a lot of work stuff get in the way and kind of let it keep sliding backward.
Yeah, like,
And now we've gotten the channel back up and going, and I think we're making a really concerted effort.
so the
on
YouTube was always Nerdy Weds.
that. Yes.
Okay. And the Convicts Convention was just an audio podcast?
We're just an audio podcast. We did have a YouTube channel for that, but we just uploaded
The
like
audio
a thumbnail with the audio portion.
Okay. All right, so we've done a game night, actually two of them so far.
Yeah.
The first one was really unique because it was our first time and it was really cool. The second time, you know, it wasn't as unique because now we're in a roll.
Yeah.
You know, so it was kind of cool. Meeting new people again each night and, you know, seeing the same faces too. So that was, you know, it wasn't just like a whole new set of people. It was good to see the variety, you know, new people, old people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it will probably continue to be,
Normally is.
because you'll have people who can always come, so you'll see those same people, but then you'll have people who, like you said about doing the YouTube, life gets in the way, so sometimes they're not able to come to everyone.
Okay.
And so
And there are people on the invite list who haven't come to either one of them yet.
who live out of
So,
state.
yeah, some of them live out of state. Some of them might be coming in just because they're in
I
town.
know I talked to you about this. I don't know if you were there because it was just the whole group of us talking about it. You know, there's an online board, a couple websites that do that where you can set up your games
You have,
so that way you can play with people locally and at the same time online with others to be in the place. You just have to have a camera.
There are 3 that come to mind straight up. Well, 4 if you count Discord. Discord, you can set up D&D games. You can set up just about anything you want in Discord.
Okay.
You can stream the table, the game, everything like that.
So, not to interrupt, but should we be like picking food now?
Yeah,
Should we
you
be,
can
all right.
grab stuff
So
up
let's
there.
do what we can.
Soda. There's another soda coming.
But I'm giving you this one.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully you guys are enjoying the 360 view on the backside.
To
For
see all
those
the
of you-
delicious
You can
things.
see all the food coming past us as we grab all this. We just throw it in there, throw it in there.
So you can have this.
Okay.
I don't know. This is my first.
So you just
Dump it-
grab
dump it
whatever
in
you
your
like and then put it in your soup.
I'm just saying, do we like grill it too, or
Oh no.
want?
So I'm gonna just pour mine.
You can, I think.
You can.
No, I don't know.
It's your grill. Use it how you want to.
I just do that.
There's ramen noodles.
Okay.
But
Do you want ramen noodles? No.
aside from like Discord, there are 3 like dedicated apps or programs you can use. One of them is, I'll go with the least popular to the most popular. You have Tabletop Simulator.
Okay.
Then you have Board Game Simulator, I think is the name of it. No, Tabletopia.
Yes. Okay. I've heard of those
Tabletop
two.
Simulator,
Okay.
Tabletopia, and the most popular one is Board Game Arena, BGA.
Yes, I've heard that one.
BGA allows players to get together and play board games, and a lot of board games being released today, and a lot of older board games are being ported into BGA
Okay.
so that it looks like you're playing a board game in the software.
Yeah, we were my group that I'm with, Game Beyond the Box. We were doing like a variety of things, and that was going to be one of them that we were looking into because a lot of the fans and supporters were asking for some of this. So we actually shifted over to Guild. Gilded.
Gilded,
We
yeah.
shifted over to that. But some of the members, some of the team members that were part of that walked away.
Yeah.
And it just didn't do as well because we were already with Discord, so we shifted over there. Now we're back on the Discord, but again, it's kind of hard to like as everybody changes with life and trying to do all that. So what do you do to try to keep this going, or is it just you just pick it and
You're talking about the board game nights?
yeah?
Well, the thing with board game night is right now we've hosted 2 of them, so we're still trying to figure
Still
out
working it?
our stride, trying to figure out how to keep it interesting for everybody involved. Trying to figure out what types of games that the group is going to respond to in a positive way. So there hasn't been a lot of experience for us hosting board game night. And can you hand me those?
This.
Yep. Sorry, everything's going past us. Anyway, we're still trying to figure out how to be good hosts for board game night.
Okay.
And the objective is for everybody to have a good time. And it's an evolving thing because as players like you, our friends, keep coming over, you gain experience with different types of games. It's just like computer games. You know, you start out with the Mario Brothers style games, and you work the person up until they're playing Battlefield, you know?
Okay.
You don't start them in Battlefield and expect for them to pick it up. Like, they've never played a
Oh no,
video
that's
game.
what we do. We throw them right into Halo, Call of Duty,
Yeah.
whatever.
And my objective is that at some point the group will be comfortable enough to where we can have like the lighter game in the beginning, get everybody acquainted, get some food in us, get a couple drinks maybe, move into some heavier board games, go back to lighter games to finish off the evening. And that's where I kind of want the group to go in my mind. But it's figuring out those heavier, chunkier games.
Yeah. Well, I know the last
What will
one.
the group tolerate?
The last one was quite a bit of.
You're talking about Scythe. Scythe was a bit much.
That was
because
quite a bit.
I think it's because we waited till after we did Zombicide.
Zombicide was fun.
Zombicide was
That
fun.
was a fun game.
Yeah.
And ironically, you guys said that was like a fluke that we just like that.
Yeah.
See, I would have been fine playing that again to like reverse that fluke.
I'll definitely have it reset up for another night because she didn't get to play this time. She really wants to play it.
But we also split up too, which was kind of cool because we did have so many of us.
A lot of people.
But at the same time, it kind of threw it off a little bit because it wasn't like the first night where it was the whole group.
Yeah.
Even though we did our own little things, but the whole group mainly stayed together.
And I think we could have with Zombicide
I think Zombicide plays up to 6.
Yes.
So we could have maybe paired up.
Yeah.
So something to think about for next time. It's a challenge though with game night because we're wanting to do it once a month, but then life gets in the way. So you're trying to not only worry about your schedule, but then the schedule of everybody who wants to come.
Yeah.
So you're trying to figure that all out. And then once you get that figured out, then you have to figure out what games that
I'm
you
just
like.
laughing at you getting dessert like right off the bat. You did that last time too.
Hey, I know what to.
Well, I
what
saw
to
that. That's why I
Go for the good stuff.
From Napoleon. Actually, I guess should we just take a break?
Players.
Yeah,
You want to take a break and we'll come back to it?
we'll just let this roll, and we'll
Yeah, we can do
we'll
that.
keep going.
I'm gonna set it off to the side. All right, let's get some stuff to throw.
We're
in the
gonna go get
pots.
some food, and actually, I got the other camera.
Lamb and spam.
Nah, you know what?
Yes, you want the lamb for this, right?
Yes, for this.
It's a good thing I got 2 cameras. So I'm gonna go with William, and he's gonna show me what to do.
Like they got busy.
Yeah,
A lot of people just came in.
it's that time of night.
It's later than it seems.
So William was telling me that the shade goes in here. And then the other stuff
Goes on the grill.
goes on the grill. I got the shaved beef, the shaved lamb. Alright, so now this stuff goes on the grill, right?
Did you want any of it?
I got you that.
Did they not have? Did they have any stuff?
They did. It's underneath this beef. Not to cook it off a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I forgot to add the butter. And the butter, man. This is a community service, man. So toss your stuff in, take out something if you like it, take it out. We can throw more on. So
There's no wrong way to do it, right?
no wrong way to do it. There's some shrimp in there for you as well.
Thank you. I've already put some in my hot pot.
Oh, good.
Sorry, babe.
What about what?
Oh, just the amount of stuff on top of all the stuff I got for you.
No, I've already put sausage in the hot pot too.
Your fish thing. I don't know what it is.
So you just, and we don't have to control this, we just control this with the dials here.
Yeah, there is a control right here over there.
But we don't have to worry about that.
Not as much, no.
So what's, on the dial here, what's the perfect number?
If you want to crank it up to 3 or 4 to get it to boil, especially when you're throwing in old stuff.
Okay.
But then drop it down to like a 2 when you're just letting it simmer and hang out.
All right.
So I got you an egg too.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm hoping you guys are really liking this. This is completely different, way out of my ballpark, so it's exciting for me. Now, what was the first time you did something like this? What was that at?
We were in Japan and we went to a Korean barbecue place.
Okay.
And they had something similar like this with the grill in the middle. And then you get your meats and put it on and cook it. And that was pretty fun. That was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. That was what, like 2003, something like that?
Yeah.
But I like this even better because you can have the barbecue and the hot pot.
Oh, okay.
That one was just
So this is a
barbecue.
combo.
It's a combo, yeah.
The first time we ever did hot pot was that MegaCon trip. So,
Okay.
this last MegaCon on our way there to this bowl.
Yeah, it should have kicked back on, but yeah, thank you. So I don't know where we left off, but we're going to continue with the next question. Is there any particular game that you guys have been playing, like the bulk of the game, that this is your game, and everybody kind of relates it with you? Or
A game?
like a favorite?
Scythe for him.
Well, Scythe is one of my favorite games. But as far as us, our thing, I think the Pandemic series has been really resonating with us.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
We really enjoy those really difficult cooperative experiences, which we wanted to introduce. Kind of like Zombicide. Zombicide's that, it's a very difficult cooperative experience where we're all trying to complete the same objective.
Okay.
We just all have a different thing we can add to the environment to help with that.
And the good thing about Pandemic is that they have so many different versions of it that you can find the theme that you like the best. We just got one that's Star Wars, and we have a Cthulhu one. So if you're into horror or some other type of genre theme, you can find it.
Everywhere. Was there like an event in the game that was very memorable that you guys bring up? Something that you'll never forget?
Oh, I seem to have forgotten. No, there are a multitude of different things that when you're sitting at a table playing a game and your opponent makes a move that you really wanted them to make, and suddenly, you took a take on it. Suddenly, the whole board opens up to you because they did something dumb and gave you an opportunity. There have been a multitude of those kinds of things. Maybe not dumb, but it's just. Sometimes you have to look at what your opponent wants to do and try to make sure you don't aid them in that direction.
Okay.
So, I'm just trying to think of something more specific.
Any particular game?
Well, we had some really awesome moments when I ran Blood on the Clock Tower the first time.
Okay.
At Dragon Con. We were doing another expansion, or the second module. She was the demon, and during the game, the demon ship changed hands. And the new demon, it's a funny story, but I'd have to get into a lot of minutia to tell you why it's funny. But the demon ended up killing herself because of something her minion did that cursed her before she became the demon. And she basically just pointed a loaded gun at herself and didn't realize.
Didn't catch it.
And it ended the game right then, and it was hilarious. Everybody had a great time. And there are so many moments like that in so many different kinds of games. It's really hard to kind of...
Okay. I know you guys do a lot of the... you're looking into the... what's it called? I'm blanking out on the word. You're supporting the games before they're even out.
Kickstarters.
Yeah, the Kickstarters. And then there's like another one too that you guys talked about. Is there any game on Kickstarter or the other imitation Kickstarter? Sorry, whatever it's called.
There's a lot.
Is there any game that you guys are absolutely looking forward to for this year?
He's looking forward to...
Now, it's already come out on Kickstarter. The Kickstarter's already ended. The backer store might still be open, but I think they said they were closing on the 28th of April.
Okay.
The last time I went on there, it still had where you click on things and buy. But it's called Wonderland's War. And you're playing as a character from the story of Alice in Wonderland, including Alice, the Mad Hatter, Queen of Hearts, and some other characters that are in the story. And it's a game where it goes in 2 phases. The first phase is collecting cards and powers and little chips to add to your bag.
Okay.
The second phase of the game is going into the different battles and pulling chips out of the bag randomly, one at a time, and trying to beat your opponent by getting the best chips without losing the battle itself. And there's a lot more to it than that, but it is a fun game of push your luck elements and stuff like that in a board game. And it's very much like Quacks and Quedlinburg. It's another popular, more simple bag building game that I can just say that it's like this.
Yeah.
And people that are in the know with board games, they're going to understand. But, you know, you're pulling stuff out of a bag, you don't know what you have in your hand, and the thing you have in your hand can either be something you really needed, or be something that won't hurt you, or it'll be the thing that ends your turn in this battle. When you open your hand with everybody else, everybody finds out at the same time. And it can lead to a lot of funny moments.
And it has good table presence, so even people who aren't into gaming, if they see that out on the table, they're gonna want to play it because it looks cool, it looks fun, and it's got a theme that most people know.
So it's inviting.
Nice. One that I'm looking forward to is it's another Kickstarter game. It's called Play, Rewind, Eject, and we did back it, and we get it in July. And it's a game that it's a good icebreaker. Anybody, I felt like watching it and reading about it, anybody would want to play it. So it plays off of that game that some people play where you say you want to, I don't know how, I didn't want to say it because I don't know how kid friendly your show is. But it plays off of that theme, but with movies. So they take really popular movies, and then you have a person who has these 3 movies, and they're going to decide which one they would want to play as is, rewind it, or eject it. And eject it means you just get rid of it completely. And so that person is making their decision and keeping it secret from everyone else, and then everyone else decides how they think that person voted on the movie. So very simple to explain and just sit down and play. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Speaking of movies, I want you guys to watch their faces. How do you not know who Bubba Hotep is?
I know who it is.
Now. Now. I mean, come on, that's a classic. How do you not know?
I don't know. With our friend group, I really don't know how we went by without knowing about that one. But this wasn't on my radar. I'm ashamed.
You should be.
But what do you consider a classic movie? Because I'm still trying to figure out, after looking at that list,
it's a cult classic, not a classic.
And I think that's where we kept getting tricked up because the poster actually does say cult, and we kept saying classic.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Now,
thank you.
Yeah, so it's more of a cult classic than an actual classic. When it comes to classic horror, I think of Universal Monsters. Those are the base classics. And then everything else kind of feeds off of that and kind of goes from there.
So what do you consider a cult?
A cult classic?
No, just cult. Like if someone says it's a cult movie, what would you consider a cult movie? How would you define it?
That would be the movie that's kind of underground for the normies, that most people in this part of the culture would understand. They would know it even by name, if not even know anything about it. But that's, you know, everybody that knows anything about it is tried and true. They know everything, you know, most people know everything about it, or at least have seen it and said, yes, I love this, and they would go see it again. Whether or not they have, I'm not going to sit there and say that this is how it should be. I think it's a broad spectrum when it comes to loving a movie and how much you participate in watching the movie or an item. You know, so you can still enjoy the lore for a lot of these games, movies, books, and not have to read everything about it, to be 100% involved in that part of it, to be part of the cult per se.
Okay. And I think that's where we were getting tripped up with our
That's reasonable,
poster.
but to add to that is a way for a more mainstream, more commercially successful movie to join cult would be a movie that's transcended its medium for the audience. Something that's created such a buzz that it had no choice to succeed, such as Star Trek. Star Trek was an unsuccessful TV series from the 60s that, because of its cult status, later became commercially successful. It was a canceled TV show that had 3 seasons.
Yeah,
Firefly, cult, because it transcended its medium.
Okay.
Star Wars
But that
is
doesn't
cult.
mean it's always going to be successful.
I don't think
No, I'm
success
saying
means
a successful movie can become cult,
Oh, okay.
or can become the other way around. It can become commercial success, but still be cult. I have to reevaluate how I want to.
yeah, I think that's a little bit more on the harder detail to explain.
I'm going to get someone to meet real quick. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Do anything specific?
Spam, I'm going to put it on there.
Yeah, bring back some more spam.
Bring back some more spam. Okay. Do anything specific other than spam?
The brisket.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the brisket. Thank you. So now that he's gone, give us the dirt.
Well, there's this one time at band camp. No, I'm kidding.
It's one camp, a boot camp.
So that we got on this topic because we did that poster where we were scratching off the 100 cult movies, and when we did it, I think both of us, we kept conflating cult and classic in our heads. So when we're looking at these movies, we're like, that's not a classic. But the poster never said that it was. It said it was a cult. And I don't think either of us have like a clear-cut definition in our heads what a cult movie is.
It's typically, when it comes to a cult classic, it's typically an underground movie that still has an audience, but has never been mainstream. That's why Star Trek may have been cults, but it's so mainstream it's not cult. It's just like Army of Darkness. You know, you're talking about Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead. Those 3 movies in that order were great. Well, 2 in Army or flip-flopping, depending on how you look at it. But they've transcended the cult status into more of a mainstream now.
You think so? Outside of people who are into horror?
I think so, yeah.
You do?
Because you've got 2 movies now that are after. You've got the TV show, you got the video games. So it had cult status and is transcended from that. So it's still an inside thing with the fans that are super fans. But that doesn't mean that it's a cult status. I think it's transcended that. So everybody knows what this is my boomstick.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows Shop Smart, Shop S Smart. Oh, that's a lot.
Well, that's not only for you.
Oh, okay.
So I think we're going to come up with our own list of 100. But the first challenge to that, we have to decide and agree on what is a cult movie. And we've decided we're going to say cult classic because our poster that we have now just says cult.
Yeah. So, is there? Let's see. We're going to start slowing it down, and
I think we need to speed this fire up a little bit, though.
yeah. Is there?
What's up?
I'm gonna put some of this stuff on here.
Oh.
All right. So obviously you guys have hit your 300. You're going on the stride. We're
We're at 350 right now. 354?
That's nice. Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is there anything for like the next up and comers that, because you guys are getting help from everybody else, and I'm sure you guys you're going to be helping the next. Is there anything that you can give them, like one piece of advice for the next generation, let's say?
Well, I haven't figured it out yet, but I think what I have figured out right now is find your community and support them, and they will support you. And I think that's the important thing, is find your community, be that board games, comic books, conventions, whatever it is you want to do. Get involved with other channels doing it and be supportive, and you'll get that in time.
And then keep it fun. Like when you're talking about something, no matter how passionate you are about it in the moment, there are going to be times where it kind of wanes a little bit. But if you are doing it because you're enjoying it and you have fun with it, then you'll get through those times. Because there's times like with work, life gets in the way, and you just want to take a break from it. But when you remember, oh, I'm doing this because I want to. I'm doing this because this is fun. I feel like you can get through those times.
Okay.
It's not work.
It's not work. So, and that also helps you when stuff goes wrong, because it's going to go wrong.
Yeah, things are going to go sideways. Something's going to come out of your mouth not in the way you intended to say it. You know.
Well, that always happens.
Yeah.
That always happens. Now, if there was, for each of you, whether it's trying to figure out how to change it up, because it doesn't really work as well, because you guys are different with how your YouTube channel is and what you guys' interests are. Now, on the aspect, who would be your ideal person to hang out with, whether it's playing a board game, reading a book together, going to a convention,
Or dinner like this?
Just dinner like this? For each of you, you don't have to be the same person.
Oh, it probably won't be.
Good.
No.
We want different answers. But who would it be that would generate your?
For me, I mean, really, if we're keeping on topic of what our channel is about, it really would be more than one person. So if I'm talking about comic books, Star Wars related, I always get her last name wrong, but Dan Duresma or Duresma, I'm sorry, I know I'm butchering that last name, but she's a comic book artist, and she drew the Twi'leks, which I'm Dark Talon, and some of the other Twi'leks that I'm really into. So, I was lucky enough to meet her. She's really shy and introverted. So to be able to sit down and talk with her and have a dinner, that would be cool. And then Elvira, when we're talking
Be
about,
very quiet then.
well, know, it is what it is. And then for horror, Elvira, Catherine Peterson, is that her real name? Cassandra Peterson, yeah. But Elvira, that's what we know her by. It would be cool to sit down and have a dinner with her and talk about, you know, her start, because she has a lot of longevity, and I think it would be cool to find out more about, you know, her past. So that's my two. I know you only asked for one, but
that's fine.
I'm extra.
I've always had an answer for this, and it really hasn't changed. I think the person I would love to sit down and do anything with, especially converse, it would have to involve conversing, but it would be Stephen Fry.
Okay.
I love his mind. I think he has a really wonderful, eloquent way of communicating. And he's funny, but very insightful and very highly intelligent dude at the same time. I'm fascinated listening to him talk. And he seems like a guy I'd want to spend an evening just talking and you know, learning from.
I'm throwing another one in there. I have a third one, an actress, Angela Bassett, because this woman has played some of the greatest characters, like real life people. And I know she's probably had to do a lot of research into those people just to take on those roles. And I would love to sit down and have a conversation with her. So I swear, I'm done this time. I'm not going to add any more people. Those are my three.
Those are your three?
Yeah.
I've got two.
What are your two?
The name is William and Kina.
You need to get out there.
You can pick that one off your bucket list right now.
Oh, great. So, all right, there you go. Thank you all for hanging in with us. Sorry about the noise, but they are getting busy. This is how good the food is here. And this is Mr. Hot Pot.
This is Mr. Hot Pot.
Hot Pot. All right, Mr. Hot Pot. Check us out. Come here. It's Spring Hill, Florida.
Yep.
So definitely check it out. We sat in the first booth. It's right up front. I'm having a good time. I'm going to keep eating. So love y'all. See you later.